What's going on? It's Nick, and today I'm bringing you guys another drawing tutorial. It's the first video I've posted in like 2 weeks. I finally got a new tripod. I'll throw a picture of that up on the screen right now so you guys see it. It's much nicer than my old Targus one that I had before, so hopefully this one works. I get a little bit of a better shot now. It's a little bit more like overhead rather than like an angle facing down. So yeah, hopefully that works. If I need to change anything, let me know in the comments down below. But for now, it's good because I can at least do videos now. But anyway, I'm doing a quick tutorial today for you guys on shading and different types of shading. I'm only going to be doing a few different kinds. I'm going to be doing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 4-ish. Yeah, 4 different types of shading today. All pretty easy, pretty simple to pick up. I'm going to be showing you guys in these little circles here. I'm going to draw with the template. Alright. Now this first one you guys have probably all done before. Hold on a second, let me change pencils real quick. This one you've probably all heard of before and done before if you draw at all. It's called the Tonal, and it's just basically normal shading, you know, going from dark, and I'll just do it like this for the sake of this example, going dark to light, and basically you're just not really drawing any specific shapes. You're just kind of going with the form of whatever it's inside of. You can see it. This is a circle, so I'm kind of drawing in this crescent motion, and it's just a solid mark going from dark, and you're just releasing the pressure of the pencil off the paper and getting lighter and lighter to get your range of values. So that one's pretty simple. It's kind of the basic shading that everybody knows. This next one is sort of like the same thing, but rather than going with the form of the shape, you know, how I'm moving my hand in the form of this circle, it's going to be basically the same thing. And I'm going outside of the circle, but it doesn't really matter a whole lot. It's going to be the same thing, going from light to dark, just going off of the pressure I'm putting down on the pencil, but I'm only going in one direction with the strokes. This is a lot like hatching, but it's more of like a solid line. It's like a gradient, whereas hatching is more individual lines. I'll be showing you that in a little bit. But yeah, that one's called Scumble. The names really aren't important at all. It's just more or less that you know the technique. So yeah, that one's also pretty simple. It's basically the same thing, but a little bit of a different stroke with the pencil. Let's see. Alright, another circle. This one, I don't even know if I really want to count this one as another technique or a shading type. It's more of a thing you can do while you're shading. I'm using a 6B pencil, which is basically, if I can find the rest of my pencils, it's the last pencil in a basic set that goes before the charcoal. So you'll see here, this is lead, and then charcoal is a much softer and it's a lot darker than lead. But yeah, I like to use this one because it's close to lead, but it still has the same texture as graphite. But this one's called Smudge, and basically the way you get this one is by kind of lightly going in with your single value. Maybe I'll get in with the light a little bit up here. Make this a little darker. Get a mid-tone in there. And then you just basically, I don't know if you've ever accidentally like rubbed a drawing or something like that, and it gets these, I don't know how well that can show up on the camera, but it's basically like these little smudge marks, and you're kind of just blending together the shades with these smudges. So you kind of create not your white, but your lightest drawn tone with this sort of smudged off like white gray color, and then you can kind of build off of those. I don't know, this one's kind of, I'm using my finger now. You can use a blending stump, which basically all that is a piece of paper that you use and you rub it on your drawing. Let's see. Yeah, so I got a pink sticky note here because I'm cool, but I mean, you could basically do the same thing with a piece of paper, but I just use my finger because I don't have a blending stump. That was pretty simple. That's kind of something after, like if I wanted to blend this one a little more, especially if you have a blending stump, which I'd recommend getting those. It just makes it look a little smoother. But yeah, that's pretty easy. The next one I'm going to be showing you guys is called hatching. And basically this one is drawing lines in a single direction and making the lines more abundant to create a darker shade. So you can see here, drawing kind of faint lines, and they're all, you know, fairly spaced out. And then when I get down here to my mid-tone, they're getting a little closer together and a little darker. This one's kind of taking spacing along with the sensitivity of which, like, you're pressing down on the pencil. It kind of takes those two together. And then here I'm going to press down a little harder. It's probably the best pencil for this, but regardless, I'm just trying to show you guys and emphasize a little bit on the individual lines. You can see that I'm really, if you wanted them lighter, you draw like that, and then when you get darker, you can group them together more. But yeah, this is the basics of hatching. And notice I'm only drawing my lines in that direction. You want to keep all your lines going in the same direction. You don't want to start having lines going in different directions, because that turns into the next kind of shading that I'm going to show you. Let's see, let's do it down her. Oh, terrible circle. Okay, forget that circle. We'll do it over here. Oh, it's terrible too. I can't even use a template. Alright, anyway, this is called cross hatching. It's the last one I'm going to show you guys. And it takes those, you know, one directional lines, and it adds another direction. And I like this style of shading a lot. And it creates a little bit more of a cool texture. I mean, really, you can come through, and what I like to do is get these lines so I can get that feel of the hatching, and then I'll come back through with a little bit of a softer pencil, and I'll just like to shade through here. And basically this one, same thing with the hatching. It's you know, lines going in one direction, and then it has other lines that are going in another direction. And even though neither of those lines ever, like, you don't want to have lines going in 3 different directions, it's just 2 lines, 2 different directions of lines. And when they get closer together, or maybe one line stops and one keeps going for a little while, it gives the appearance of a darker or a lighter area. So you can see over here on the top, since there's less lines, there's actually no lines going up and down, that it looks like there's a lighter area as opposed to down here. I don't know, you probably can't see that circle too well, but down here there's a lot tighter group of lines, and it gives a much darker shade. Yeah, and that's pretty much the basics of cross-hatching. I hope you guys like this tutorial today. It's pretty short. This is the one I was going to do when my tripod broke like 2 weeks ago. But I've got my new one now, so I'm going to be posting videos every week. As always, if you have any ideas or suggestions for tutorials, just comment them down below, and I really am open to any suggestions of anything you want me to draw. because I don't really have ideas all the time. So yeah, comment those down below. If there's anything else you'd like to know about, any types of shading, comment them down below. If you have any questions, comment them down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more tutorials every week. I'll see you guys next week.